Hey guys, I'm going to take a few minutes today and talk about Canadian pennies. I'm in the U.S., but I still come across a lot of Canadian pennies in my penny hoarding collection. And there's some things you need to know and better ways of doing it. What to keep for numismatic value, what to hoard. There's 3 different sets of what to put away for their copper values, and I'll explain all of that. And then the ones you need to discard. There's a couple of groupings in there too, and you need to discard both groupings, even though some people say that maybe you shouldn't. Anyway, I've got a few of most of these, and I'll show you what years they are, the weights, and the copper values, and all of that. Let's get started. Just for the fun of it, whenever I coin roll hunt and I come across Canadian coins, I just stick them in this bag. And also, when I find Canadian coins at the Coinstar machine, they go in this bag. They're several dollars worth. I don't have any idea what I'm going to do with them. I guess I could take them to a bank, cash them in, but I'll just keep holding on to them. Okay. From 1876 to 1919, Canada made large cents. These, that's just wanted to give you kind of a comparison. These are actually Great Britain. They're not Canadians. I don't have one of the Canadian ones. I picked these up actually randomly, coin roll hunting $50 here in the U.S., and I found these. It was a lot of fun finding those. I'll pop up a picture of the Canadian ones. Obviously, you're not going to get them coin roll hunting in pennies. You may find one somewhere else in the $50 or something. But obviously, you're going to, if you get a hold of your hands on those, you're going to keep those for their numismatic value. And I just throw this up here to give you an idea of the size. They're much larger. They're 95.5% copper, and they're 5.67 grams each. They're, that's twice the weight of another penny. All right, let's move on. Okay, the next set you're going to look for is the 1920 through the 1936. These are going to have King George V on them. They are 95% copper. They weigh 3.24 grams each, which is bigger than the U.S. The U.S. copper pennies, 3.1 grams. But these, these they're kind of hard to find, and they have a good numismatic value. I don't happen to have any of these right now, so I'm showing you just some photos. But definitely, you're going to keep these aside, put them in sleeves, whatever you do, and you're going to keep these for your numismatic value for your collection. Okay, here's the next set. This is the 1937 through 1952. These have King George VI on them. You want to keep all of them for their numismatic value as well. Not quite as rare as the others, but still nice coins to hold on to. There is a little difference between 1937 and 1941. They're 95.5% copper, but in 1942, they switched it over to 98% copper, and that went to 1952. So from 1937 to 1952, keep the King George VI, put them aside in your sleeves or however you keep them, and keep them for a numismatic value. Okay, next is your first set for hoarding. These are your 1953s through 1979, and these are 98% copper with a weight of 3.24 grams. These are some good ones. These is your best ones right here. You'll find that one of the years is a centennial year in there. I got quite a few of these, and I'm putting them in one container, and you're going to have 3 different containers for hoarding Canadian pennies. This is number 1. Remember, this is 53 through 79, 98% copper, 3.24 grams. Okay, the next set you're going to look for hoarding. This is just 2 years, 1980 and 1981. These are still 98% copper, but they dropped the weight on these to 2.8 grams. So you'll want to keep these separate in your hoarding bags or boxes, whatever you do. They've still the 98% copper, but they've dropped the weight of these coins a little bit. Alright, the third set for hoarding is your 1982 through your 1996. These are very distinguishable because they're the 12-sided coins. Those years. These do still have 98% copper, but they dropped the weight again to 2.5 grams, unlike the 2 years of the 80 and 81s with the 2.8 grams. So keep these separate. Still great 98% copper, but just a little bit less in weight. So you're going to remember to keep your Canadian copper hoarding in 3 different sets. And this is the third set right here. Okay, from 1997 through 1999, the pennies are 2.25 grams, but now they have switched over to a 98.4% zinc composition and 1.6% copper plating, basically. There are people who say that they will, be worth over a penny each, so you could keep them, but it's just not worth it, Take whatever money you've got instead of saving these. Keep buying more pennies because there's a whole lot of the copper ones out there. Whenever I go through U.S. pennies, I find copper pennies in every box, and I keep them put away separately. They're, mostly 98% copper, whereas my U.S. cents are 95% copper. So anyway, that's what they are. They're mostly zinc, and I don't think you should keep these. Just discard them. Okay, and last you have your 2000 to 2012. These Canadian pennies are made with 94% steel. They're just not worth anything other than, you can spend them. And of course, obviously, not obviously maybe, but after 2012, Canada stopped the production of the penny altogether. And they're definitely not as easy to come by. I don't think the banks carry them in Canada anymore. I've talked to a few guys who you can get them, but it's not as easy as it was a few years ago. But anyway, these are steel. They're not worth keeping, certainly. But there's a lot of the copper ones still out there. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope that this helps in some way. Let me know. If I've said anything wrong, by all means, please let me know. I think I've got this right. And hopefully it's helped in some way. Thanks.